back. Hey, Benji.
Hey, Avi.
How's it going?
Do you mean it?
Of course I mean it. How you doing?
I don't know if you mean it. No, actually,
I'm sincere. I'm always sincere in that question.
I'll say that there's a difference between Israelis and Americans. Americans say, "How you doing?" They're just saying hello.
I'm doing both. I'm both. I'm Israeli and American. I have dual citizenship.
When
But only one loyalty, and that's to how you're doing.
How am I doing, really? When I first moved to Israel, I was working somewhere, and I said to someone, "Ma slomcha, how you doing?" And I didn't mean it. It's like a good morning in America.
Yeah.
He said, "Oh, diarrhea." I learned my lesson. How am I doing? Honestly, I'm okay. I'm depressed.
Why are you depressed? What's going on?
Honestly?
Yeah, let's get into this. Honestly, I think it's a different podcast.
I'm not sleeping well in the war, and it's dragging. And I'm upset, and
I have to admit,
I don't want to lose our listeners.
You seem a little tired today.
Yeah, and I'm tired.
And because we're tired, because podcasting turns out podcasting is hard.
Podcasting is hard. You have to
interview.
edit things.
You have to work after. You have to interview in the evening.
What we wouldn't do to make this amazing, right?
Yeah. So, and here we're up early at the crack of dawn.
Right, but okay, this is a very special episode.
Sure is.
Like in a sitcom, you'd have a very special episode.
Well, this is a special episode because we're recording this on July 5th. Yesterday was July 4th, and we want to wish all of our American listeners a happy Independence Day.
Right.
And we thought, what could be more appropriate for a July 4th podcast than to interview a Frenchman?
Right. Our very first interview.
Our very first interview. I guess by definition, our very first Frenchman.
Exactly.
And we get into it. We're, we talk about freedom fries and freedom toast and freedom kissing. Did you edit that part out?
I edited all that out. Yeah.
All right.
But I'll tell you the truth. So when we interviewed him, I was in a better mood. Still, the war was in the background.
You're very moody. Yeah.
I'm very moody lately. Yes. But I'll tell you something also, and maybe I wasn't in the best mood, but I have like a fundamental problem with French people.
Oh, wow. I mean,
not with the person that we interviewed. And
No.
we're going to get to that in a second. I mean, he is a wonderful human being, but just his accent threw me.
Yeah.
It's not all French people. It's just actually my landlord. We're renting now.
Your landlord is from France originally?
My landlord is the definition of France. He basically is France to me.
Okay. Well, that could be bad because that's inherently a
right.
complicated
So
relationship.
it took a couple minutes. It threw me when he started talking with the accent. It just reminded me a little bit of this dude. This dude is driving me crazy, actually.
Okay.
In a way that I don't even want to describe.
So the podcast
let me describe a little bit.
Well, the interview that we did with Ami, it triggered you. You're saying
it triggered me a little bit.
there's a good chance for you to get some of that out. What?
Right. That's not why I'm in a bad mood right now. But
There's other reasons.
But
Diarrhea.
let me think of which of the 100 anecdotes to give you. Okay, so this happened a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
Our air conditioner for the whole upstairs, all the bedrooms,
It's hot. For our American listeners, it's summer in Israel.
plus global
And our
warming.
European
Also
listeners.
global warming. We're not going to talk about that now. You don't
Right.
believe in it.
No, it's a long thing. That's a whole other episode.
So basically, the air conditioner is blowing hot air, not for the first time, in the summer.
But that's, that's kind of like our podcast. What's wrong with blowing hot air? I think it's hypocritical for us to be against blowing hot air.
It is, and that's why I held off for a few days and calling him till
Good
my
for
wife basically almost strangled me. I said, "But the podcast, it's similar to the podcast.
Hypocrisy.
And I want to stay in character, a method. I'm like Brando here." So basically, it's blowing hot air. I call this little Frenchman, and
The landlord, not a random little Frenchman.
yeah,
Okay.
Well, I also called Ami Ohayon and said, the guy we're going to interview, and I said, do you want to do a podcast? Maybe it's all related. And I said, "Hey, air conditioner blowing hot air." What does he say to me?
What?
He says, "What did you do? What did you do?" I'm like, "What?"
That's English.
Yeah. That's
What
his
did you
English. Yeah. Actually, he spoke Hebrew with an accent. But it's double translation here.
Okay.
What did you do? I said, "What do you mean? What did I do?" And he says, "Well, the air conditioner is 25 years old and has never malfunctioned, and now it doesn't work. What did you do?"
Well, that's Benji. I have to admit, that's rational from his point of view. It's been working. Then you guys move in,
Right.
and suddenly it breaks. What's he supposed to think?
Okay, you'd make a great French landlord. You should move to France, where there are no air conditioners, by the way, almost. So bottom line is, I almost killed him, because there's another logic to it. You got it, right? Like, it's 25 years old,
Yeah.
and what did you do giving me a 25-year-old air conditioner? What did you do? And so
did he fix it? It's working? You got a new one? What
no,
happened?
the truth is he was right. What did I do? I didn't clean the filter. But that's
okay.
irrelevant.
So it was your fault.
So it was my fault.
See, the French are right. And,
Okay. That brings to
that's
mind.
not it. That's not the.
That's the summer with my Frenchman.
Okay, there's
each of us have
you
our
seasonal
Frenchman.
issues with your.
Let
French
me describe the
landlord.
winter in 30 seconds.
Okay.
We didn't know this. How could we know? When it rains, okay, I live at the bottom of a long driveway.
When
right?
it rains in Israel, it pours.
When it
by
rains,
the
it
way.
pours. That's actually
Yeah,
true.
that could have been. That phrase could have been invented here.
I think it's probably in Tanakh. That's how we
Yeah.
got it, right? So when it rains, all waters in our town come through my driveway. Every drain
true.
leaves to my driveway.
You do live at the bottom of. You're the lowest beneath sea level here.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So there's a sign there. Yeah, sea level, right in the middle of the driveway.
that's a sign that you stole from the road to the Dead Sea
Exactly.
on a prank.
So every time it rains, all waters lead to my house and a drain that's the size of a golf ball.
Yeah.
Okay, so every time
Do
it
you
rains,
live on a golf course? 'Cause it could be a golf hole.
no, there's only one golf course in Israel. You know that. So
That's true.
basically, everything comes down to me, and then all the leaves are on top of that thing.
And you had no idea this was a situation when you moved in. There's no way you could have known this.
How could I know this? No,
Right.
how could I actually inspect
It
the
was
house?
in fine print in French in the lease.
Probably. I'm not even sure I have a lease. Anyway,
You read the lease. You're like, what's this stuff about golf? What is golf?
exactly. I got
And
excited.
it sounds good.
I got
Yeah.
excited.
Little did you know.
Little did I know. Right. And by the way, my handicap is almost as good as Biden's. And little did I know. Boom! Every time it rains, there's a flood. A tremendous bathtub builds up at the bottom of my driveway.
Not a bathtub, but an ocean, a sea,
a
rising sea. Yeah.
Good. And it basically is all leaking into my house. I have to run outside in my underwear.
No, you don't have to run out in your underwear. You could stop and pick up a pair of pants, a pair of sweatpants, a pair of shorts.
You don't understand. It often rains in Israel at night, and
Right.
I run outside. When I hear the thunder. Thunder, it's like a Pavlovian response.
So you're not doing it only for you. You're doing it to save the neighborhood, really.
Basically,
Okay.
yeah.
And there's a school behind you. You're a hero. You're a hero in his underwear.
I'm a hero in my underwear. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm like Superman without a cape or anything, and I'm running out there, and I'm standing there knee deep in water with my headlights on. I have to move my car so it's not destroyed, and my headlights from the top
Many
of
of
that
the
driveway.
neighbors wish that you were waist deep in water.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm spending my nights basically with my hands getting the leaves and like everything, all the twigs away from this tiny drain.
Right. So that the water.
Screaming at him, screaming at God, right? This was before the war. Now I'm screaming about other things. And so I said to him, I said, listen, dude, what's going on here? Every time it rains, I have to spend my whole time out there clearing leaves. And he didn't say, what did you do? He said, so what? I'm like, what do you
So
mean?
what?
So what do you mean, so what? He said, yeah, that's the way it is.
That's how it works. That's how this house works.
Right. That's how it works.
Did you want an ordinary home? No. You wanted a house with character and challenges. Yeah.
That's how
you will leave this house a better man than you came into it.
I
Something to
may
look
not
forward
leave
to.
this house. I said to him straight up, I said, listen, I'm running back from work at the sound of thunder. I'm
Yeah.
checking Gaza City weather and Ranana weather full time at this point. And he said to me, yeah. And I said, well, what if I want to go away? What if I want a vacation? Like, oh, no. You should not vacation in the winter.
This could be dangerous.
He said, don't vacation in the winter. And then he said, maybe you have a neighbor that'll help you. So
And if the waters rise to the level of the air conditioner, I will kill you.
anyway,
No vacations in winter.
back to
Well, this is a great
ba-
introduction.
I'm
because-
sorry, world out there. You're catching me in a moment. Back to life.
Back to life. So-
What's the connection? I came into it a little bit anti-French. The accent threw me, and yet we had a
I
fantastic.
think
first
you were very
guest.
polite. You were very, you were a cordial host.
I'm an actor,
You-
but we decided we wanted to start interviewing people once in a while.
Yeah.
Not like captains of industry or anything like that. We wanted to get people that have done interesting things,
Not
things that we're
not
interested
titans
in.
of industry. We're not interested in titans of industry. And in the interview, in fact, Ami started in business, and you'll hear more about that in the interview. And he got into a very, very interesting business in Israel, a brick and mortar.
Right. Actually, like air and water. We're gonna get.
Yes,
to.
more air and water.
He's in the weeds. He's in the weeds with Israelis in a way that we're not.
He's in the reeds with Israelis.
Oh my God, you're on.
Yes.
Perfect.
This is a good time. We should record the interviews
this
also
guy
in the morning.
is he's a friend, and
He was a friend until the podcast went out.
We'll find out soon. And we had a lot of fun with him, and we learned a lot.
Yeah, he's a special guy who's built a very unique business that's like you said, it's a brick and mortar real business in a local town in the north of Israel. We'll get into the details with him now, and I think there's a lot to learn from his journey and a lot to admire about it.
Absolutely.
He had a dream, and he built it in Israel.
Avi, I think that's it. Shabbat shalom.
All right, Shabbat Shalom, yeah. And let's get into it now. Here it is. Here's the podcast without further ado.
Let's go.
And we're back with Ami Ohayon,
Very exciting. The
Very
French
exciting.
king of Aqua Kef.
Thank you.
le roi français de Aqua Kef.
Parfait.
Merci.
Okay, we're going to need to speak English.
Benji, as a courtesy to you, I will change to English for the rest of this episode.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
That. Ami, welcome.
Du rien, Benji.
You said you're back to French?
I can't help it.
Okay.
Ami, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Our very first guest.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for agreeing
Wow.
to come. You didn't know you were the first guest.
I didn't know.
Did not know and did not hear the podcast yet, so maybe that's why you came.
By the time this goes out, he will have heard all the episodes,
I'm sure.
except this one.
I'm
Yeah.
sure. We're going to make you listen.
It's the first thing I'll do when I come out here.
Okay, great. Great. Okay, we want to dive right in with you. Okay, Ami, where are you from?
I was raised in France, in Paris.
What's a childhood like in Paris, meaning all baguettes and wearing a beret? Like what?
No beret, but
Okay.
baguettes, lots of baguettes.
Mm.
Uh-huh.
Lots of éclairs and religieuses, croissant, pain au chocolat.
I've
good
been
things.
dying. I wanted to wait a little while, but I can't help it. I have to ask this question. What is the difference between a pâtisserie and a boulangerie?
Ah, okay. Well, boulangerie is for the bread, is for the pain.
Uh-huh.
And pâtisserie is all the cakes. So,
Okay. That's an important difference. We just
Yeah.
have bakeries.
No, I see those signs in Ranana a lot. I don't know what they mean.
Yeah.
I don't go in there. I don't feel welcome.
you should. Well, you don't feel welcome?
Not really. We'll
Yeah,
talk about that later.
We'll go together.
Okay, I appreciate that.
I'll take you.
You'll get me in. Okay, so you have this happy child in France singing La
Very
Marseillaise every day. Okay, you went to Jewish schools?
I went to Jewish schools,
Okay.
very Zionist schools also.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, yeah,
And at some point you decide to move to the Holy Land.
that's correct. Following two older siblings that were here, my parents were very Zionist. They sent us to very Zionist school, and the schools actually in the last year take us to Israel and to have us visit schools and universities and army programs, and we decided we were about 30 people out of the 100 kids that graduated that came to Israel. And that's
Okay.
how it started 30 and something years ago.
Wow. Okay, and you stayed?
That's
And we stayed, yeah,
wait.
definitely.
How many? What was the percentage? Of
About
people?
30% that they made
Pretty
Aliyah.
good, pretty
Yeah, and now we're about
That's
six.
pretty amazing.
I would say more 50-60% that came after.
That ended up here.
Yeah,
So you stayed in Israel. You did university here?
that's correct. Yeah,
What did you study?
I studied in Bar Ilan,
What subject?
economics and Minal Asakim, business
Uh-huh.
administration.
Uh-huh.
Got married, worked for banks. I was in the financial world
Okay.
for many years. I was really bad at it. Hated it. I really felt like every day that I had there, I was thinking I wasted another day.
That is the
Wasted another day.
exact feeling that we're going for on this podcast. So you're really, it's no coincidence you're the first guest.
Meaning, yeah.
Meaninglessness,
Yeah.
a lot of air, nothing happened.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, you've got the right guess here.
Meaning you had the feeling that you'd rather spend the day in a water park.
I didn't get there. Like it didn't. But I felt like if I was gonna die the next day or the same day, I would think that there would be nothing left of what they would say at my funeral. Some people might find being successful in the amount of money that they make being like a goal, and they might find a lot of happiness about it.
Yeah.
That was not my way to go. Like that was not something that I.
Something was
that I found.
missing.
I was
Some meaning.
definitely something missing.
Okay.
Okay.
The fact that I never found myself in what I was doing led me to all kind of ventures.
Okay.
Not always good ventures, okay,
Mhm.
but ventures that made me be happy about what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And every time those ventures wouldn't go well, so I would go back to my trading job because that was my way to step back and make a parnasa, make a living. But at some point, like, when things were good, so I didn't have to go back to it. When I had to go back to it, was a sign that, like, I failed in what I was doing. So, in any case, leading to Aqua Kef took me a long time. I first was in a touristic project that took me for many years, and I used to go to Spain on a regular basis.
I remember that. Yeah,
I like things that are a little bit different. So. So we bought a mountain in Spain.
You bought a mountain?
A mountain, yeah, to try to do some resort there.
I didn't know there were mountains in Spain.
The Pyrenees.
I didn't know there were mountains to sell then. Like I know, you can buy an island, you can buy a plot of land. Here there was a mountain to be sold, so that was interesting. So,
but what did you do with the mountain?
The mountain, like
he broke it up and sold the rocks.
There's an expression that in Hebrew that says "ahar oleh darbar." Meaning that the mountain led to a mouse, meaning that it didn't lead anywhere yet. Okay, but it's a long process.
How would you say that in French? The mountain.
La montagne. Well, there's another expression in French about like buying castles in Spain, which is pretty similar. Like meaning you can buy a castle in Spain, but at the end you're left with nothing. So anyway, but we have a lot of families in Spain, and I kept on going back to Spain for this project. And family members saw water parks, inflatable water parks that were being built and over the summers. And they knew the numbers, and they knew investors that were doing it. And they kept on telling me, "Stop doing your project in here. You have to go back in Israel and do this project in Israel, and this is going to work." And I kept on telling them, "I'm not interested really to work with Israelis. It's complicated. Like you don't understand the crowd. It's not Europeans. It's not it's not what you think they are. They're tough. They're going to eat me in different ways." And I was very reluctant about starting something in Israel with crowd.
Right. So this is I think a common thing, like a common experience, making Aliyah to Israel. We as Americans, you as a Frenchman, and you have your own culture. You worked in something that was similar, let's say similar all around the world, manufacturing decimal points on the foreign exchange desk. That's the same more or less everywhere. Like even the Israelis, they were behaving in a kind of an international way. But then you're going to get into a real business here, which very few people end up doing. I think very few olim end up going into a real business on the ground, working with Israelis, both in every sense. Your vendors, your customers, right?
Yeah, it seems daunting. Yeah,
I didn't know what I was getting into. I'm pretty sure if I knew the outcome and what we did, that I would have still done it. But at the beginning, I didn't know like at all where this was leading us.
Okay, so you got this idea to build a water park made out of inflatables, right?
Correct.
Oh, first of all, explain what Aqua Kef is.
It's a place where people gather, okay, and meet randomly in an environment which is a water park of inflatables that are different obstacles that are connected to one another. And each obstacle of inflatable at the end make a water park. So it's a chain of different obstacles. It's interesting because it doesn't exist at all in Israel. It's the only park. It's very unique. And it's a place where people have a good time, where they tell families that come to us say that's the only place where my family doesn't fight between themselves. Like they
fight with other families.
That we have, okay. But
we're gonna want to hear about that.
No, but mainly that kids, because the obstacles are hard to do, so like they help each other and then they have a good time, they have fun. Like so it's a place.
So some businesses are hard to keep afloat, but not yours.
Right. Good one.
Thank you.
Yeah. Very good.
Wait, but paint a mental picture here, right? Meaning it's on the Kinneret.
It's on the Kinneret.
It's on the beach of...
On the municipal beach of Tiberias. It's called Chof Ganim.
Okay. And what do I see when I get there? It's inflatables in the water.
Inflatables in the water.
And what do you got to do?
So the goal is to be able to stay there. The activity is a 45-minute activity or an hour and a half, depending what people buy. And the goal is to go from one obstacle to the other, and to make sure that you come back in one piece.
I've been there several times, and you never let me pay, which is why I keep coming back. And
you always come. You usually come last minute. You don't check the times, and there's only 10 minutes left.
That's the last time it happened. Yeah. And we had a great time that time. It was me and my son came, and it's so refreshing.
It was 10 minutes.
Still, even for 10 minutes, it's
Okay,
incredibly
even for
refreshing.
10
Yeah,
minutes,
it was
yeah.
a really hot day. And, so it's, I think some summer camps in America have it. It's floating.
Floating things
floating-
in the
yeah,
Kinneret.
it's like you walk
I've never,
on it, you
I've never
slip off.
been. You
That's-
know,
Really?
when I moved back to Israel, you said I
Benji?
could go for free.
Of course, Olim come for free.
And I've been around there like 1,000
Well,
times, but I was worried you weren't there, so I'd have to pay. So I literally haven't been in yet.
It's not that expensive. Benji.
Okay. Got it.
But in any case, Olim come for free. Okay, if you're within your first year of Aliyah, you don't have to pay Aqua Kef. You can just
it's
come.
good.
Just I'm an
You're
oleh.
still in your first year, Benji, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
Oh.
No. Okay, so you got these inflatables. You got to go one to the other, and then you fall in the water occasionally?
Fall in the water, you dive in the water, you climb up walls, you slide down slides into the water. It's a ton of fun. It's really a lot of fun.
Okay, so you have this idea. You're going to make this thing in Israel, right?
That's crazy. I mean, that's a crazy dream. It doesn't exist. Israel only has one lake.
That's what's exciting about this project.
Yeah.
That it doesn't exist. That's what I like. That's what I like about the mountain. That's what I like about this project.
Right.
Just
That they're
can we go
unique.
back to the mountain? What were you going to do in the mountain?
So the mountain is in the process of permits. It's only been 16 years. And
To do what? To build houses?
A glamping
glamping.
site. It's very beautiful.
Is that
Very
going to be
unique.
free in my first year in Spain? Because things are
If you
going
make
badly.
Aliyah?
Yeah, no, things are going badly here. Yeah.
I wouldn't go to Spain for
Okay.
Yerida.
Got it. Okay.
Uh,
So you had this idea. You wanted to build this water park thing in Israel, and did you know where you want to do it?
So
does have a lot of choices.
No,
No,
maybe the ocean. I
So
don't
the truth,
know.
I'll tell you.
You can't build floating things in the ocean as waves in the ocean.
Maybe
It's
he
either
did.
that or the Dead Sea or like a reservoir somewhere.
Okay.
So the truth is, when I started the idea, I went to all the coastal areas. Okay, I went to the Kinneret, I went to the Mediterranean municipalities, I went to Eilat.
A lot, maybe.
I didn't go to the Dead Sea, okay, because falling to the water would be problematic.
Uh-huh.
But I went to all of them, not knowing what I was offering them, but just to find a location. Because without a location, you don't have a business.
Right.
Right.
And everybody was interested, but nobody was biting into it.
Mm-hmm.
So we were in February 2016, and there was the tourist fair of Israel,
Mm-hmm.
which is a fair for all the attraction, municipalities, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I hired a booth there, presenting the idea of a new water park,
Uh-huh.
not knowing where I would be, okay,
Right.
and hoping that one of those municipalities that I talked to would be biting into my idea and come and say, "Oh, please don't do it in Netanya. Come to me."
Right.
And this is exactly actually what happened
Uh-huh.
with Tiberias. At the end of the day, they came to me and they said, "Where are you going to have it?" And I said, "Well, listen,
It's
I'm talk-
Tiberias. It's ironic, or maybe not. Tiberias is the Paris of Israel, really. It's
In what respect?
so
Paris?
beautiful. The architecture. It's so beautiful, romantic.
Really?
The finesse.
Oh, you're kidding.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, got it.
Okay, got it.
I haven't been there. No, I have. Okay.
So anyway, but for
But you offered it to all these municipalities, including ones on the Mediterranean.
that couldn't work. Yeah,
So Avi was right, meaning the waves would have
The-
screwed it up.
yeah,
But you
like-
didn't know that.
I didn't know that at the time because I thought that the wave breakers could handle the parks. But for a lot of reason, it couldn't work.
Okay.
So in any way, at the end of the day, I was stuck only
Like
with
the
Tiberias.
Americans are finding out now with the floating pier in Gaza. I'm just relating it to current events.
Good. Yeah.
The Mediterranean is rough. It's rough,
Very
especially
rough.
in the summer. Yeah,
Exactly,
it's very
especially in the
strange.
summer.
Also jellyfish.
People don't know that's exactly you're right. Israel, it's hot in the summer. You want to go to the beach. You want to go in the water, but it's rough seas, and there's jellyfish, and there's pieces of jellyfish. Like even when there's not jellyfish, the water stings because there's like broken pieces of jellyfish that still sting. It stings a little.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That tingling you felt was that. It wasn't what you thought it was.
Okay, got it.
In the winter, when no one wants to go in the water, it's
Exactly.
calmer.
Exactly. Yeah, you know your stuff.
I know.
So at the end of the day,
I'm a sailor.
we're left. Actually, even in the Kinneret, there's only one side that can work. Only the western side.
Really?
Because on the eastern side, there are waves in the afternoon. Okay, so at the end of the day, only Tiberias could fit,
Right.
and only one side.
and only and Eilat. Those were the two places.
Right.
But I think that fair that I did, which was risky, in a way, was my trampoline. Was my trampoline.
Trampoline.
Yeah, in a way.
Your diving board. You're jumping.
Exactly, because
Your
there,
inflatable water park.
because at the end of the day, there not only that I caught the fish, I caught Tveria, and they decided to do it there, but I also met the future customers that were my potential crowd. And there, I was told what to do and what not to do. So I got a lot of insight. I would have never met those people in any other way.
You met them at the fair?
I met them at the fair, and at the time, there was a lot of debate: should I be open on Shabbat, or how do I open a business in Israel that's not going to be open on Shabbat? Because Tiberias told me, well, if you do it, you have to be open on Shabbat. And then I met a lot of people that told me, like, if you're open on Shabbat, we're not going to come to you, and you should be definitely.
Did you meet a guy named Gedalia Gumber?
No.
Okay.
Who's that?
He would have told you also not to be open on Shabbat.
Well,
I think a lot of our American listeners who had normal childhoods would know who Gedalia Gumber is.
I don't know who is that.
I'm Big Gedalia Gumber on Uncle Moshe.
No.
I said he ain't gonna work on Saturday. Ain't gonna work.
I listened to like Judas Priest. It wasn't.
Oh man.
Okay.
I'll tell you a crazy story. I met that lady who is in her 60s, and
at the fair.
At the fair.
It's quite a fair. How long was this fair?
It was a couple days.
Where?
In Tel Aviv at the expo.
Uh-huh.
And she came up to me and she said,
is this like a romantic thing?
She's 60. Like,
sorry.
Okay. It's not nothing romantic, but it's something exotic.
Mm.
In a sense that she came up to me and she said, wow, I had a screen with like inflatables, and she said, where is this going to be? And I said, I can't tell you, but I didn't have a location. So she said, well,
I'm not sure I like where this is going. Exotic and romantic and inflatables.
You don't like where it's going?
I'm not sure where this is going.
I'm intrigued.
no,
Let's hear the rest.
Nothing French here.
Okay.
Okay.
And she said, well, when you know and when you have a location, I have a lot of groups that I can bring you.
Uh-huh.
And I said, okay, who are you? And she said, just give me your number and I'll call you. And I said, can I have your number? And she said, no, I'll call you. And then
Mysterious.
And then a couple of weeks later, she gave me a call. She said, do you have where's your location? I said, well, I don't have the permits yet. We're in March. And this went on for a few weeks because I didn't get the permits to get the park going. And finally, sometimes in June, she was calling me on a weekly basis. And she was telling me, can I come with a group? Are you ready? And finally, when the park was up, and she said, I'm going to come and try it with my husband. So she came and tried it with her husband.
60 years. It's a little old for the park.
She wanted to try it.
That's ageist. Look at Joe Biden, meaning he's even older. He's functioning perfectly.
He could. You're right.
Okay.
And then finally, I got the permits, and she said, "Can you host a group tomorrow?" So it was Thursday. So she wanted me to host a group Friday. I said, "Yeah, sure." And I said, and she said, "Ask her how many people." She said 300. So and we never had one person on the group, on the park. And I said, my capacity is 100. So I said, so she said, okay, I'll bring 100 and another 100, another 100, and I said, okay, we'll try. And one more thing, we want to come at 6:30 in the morning tomorrow morning. And she brought a group.
Are there 300 people in Israel that are awake at 6:30 in the morning?
Well, and then they want to go in the water park.
At all?
No, awake. There are a lot of people awake, but they want to come to water park in Israel, in Tiberias. There's a lot less.
Yeah.
But figures that she brought a group of 300 people for a first day at the park.
Amazing.
These are like water park enthusiasts.
It was a Haredi people.
Okay.
And we had the same day a grand opening later for the rest of the crowd, and we did publicizing and this, and we had 2 people that came.
Right.
A brother and a sister.
They had a great time.
Yeah, they had the park for themselves.
Exactly.
So anyway, so that's how we started. Thanks to that lady.
And the Haredi swimmers.
Haredi swimmers and crazy stories.
But when we say Haredi people, was it all men, all women?
All women. A
all
group
women.
of 300 women. Girls, like 17, 18-year-old.
From around Tiberias or from around?
No.
So they were up really early.
Yeah.
Christians, there were Christians in Tiberias. They must have been happy because you have all these people who are walking on water in the Sea of Galilee.
I don't think they would like that.
Why?
It shows that it's nothing special.
Our crowd is mainly not Christian.
No,
really?
But we tried.
I think that would test my faith if I saw tons of Haredi girls walking on water.
Your faith in Judaism or in Christianity?
No, in Jesus.
Your faith in
I believed, meaning maybe that's what he was up to.
Do you serve at the cafeteria fish and wine and bread?
No.
Bread and fish?
No.
Okay, good. All right, then you're fine. Okay.
But anyway, from those 300 people, the park, I think from the is
Wait, what year was that?
2016.
Okay.
I think today, after 7-8 years of operation, there were more than 1 million visitors in total that came. And
1 million?
More than 1 million, yeah.
How do I check you on that? Is there some sort of audit I can do?
Many of them repeat visitors.
It could be.
Yeah.
Could
No,
be.
which is good. People coming by.
Are like 90% in their first year of Aliyah and they're just getting their free... it's once during your first year of Aliyah.
Yeah. Well, I would hope that there were 1 million people making Aliyah. If there's 1 million people making Aliyah, I'm ready to have them come for free.
Okay.
Now...
That would be quite amazing.
I have a question about... one of our previous episodes, I don't know which one, there's so many, you have to look in the archive, but in one of our previous episodes we spoke about the Haredim and the relationship to the army and serving the army, etc. But it seems to me that you probably have interesting stories because you have, your first group was Haredi women, and you have regular local people who want you to be open on Shabbat, and you have people tourists from outside of Israel, people from all over Israel coming because there's only the one lake. And so how are there strange interactions? Is it interesting? How do you balance it? How did the Haredi women come in terms of their swimwear? Like it's probably a lot of clothing, right?
So we're responsible for the most water coming out also of the Kinneret, okay? Because they come on with all their clothes. Also, a lot of men come with their clothes. So they drain a lot of water. So every time that they drain their clothes out of the Kinneret, I said, don't drain it outside, drain it inside.
Benji likes to wear a lot of clothes because you're such a fast swimmer.
Pretty much.
So it's only fair to make it fair. You wear a lot of clothes.
Fair when I'm racing, but in a place like yours, I'd wear almost nothing.
You should come at the Haredi hours.
I should, absolutely.
So everybody comes. Listen, we have mixed hours, and then you can be dressed the way you want.
Mixed hours is men and women mixed.
Men and women come the way you want.
Mm-hmm.
Men hours come with at least a bathing suit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and women hours come in a respectable way. Like, do not come in bathing suits.
Okay, even if it's only women.
Only it's only women.
Meaning you won't let women in who happen to show up in women's hours if they're wearing just a bathing suit.
That's correct.
Okay.
You ever get pushback to that?
Yeah, a lot. Like we.
Well, let's role play. I'm the girl. I show up. I'm wearing a bathing suit. It's women's hours. Hi, can I have one ticket to Aqua Kef, please?
Sure, but you would need to come with a shirt and tights in order to go in. You cannot go within your bathing suit at those hours.
I'm really upset and offended. How was I to know that?
It says on the website. That's what we sell. You can come the way you want. That's mixed hours.
Do you have a shirt to sell me?
We offer shirts. Like if it's an issue,
I'm not upset anymore.
But what if? But maybe you want to know why? Why is that? Why is that? It's not fair.
I'm the girl. Why you're so misogynist?
I give you a chance.
No, I do that to my wife all the time.
What?
I put words in her mouth. Let me speak my piece.
So ask the important questions.
Why? Why?
At the end of the day, like we have the Haredi women, they're very modest, and they don't like to be with other women that are. Overall, they don't like to be with women that are not Haredi. Okay, so we have a lot of interactions between. At the separate hours, the Haredi girls ask us, who's going to be with us, and we tell us women. So I said, what kind of women? So it's the same with men. Like they ask us, who are going to be with us? Men. What kind of men? There's a lot of they always try to preserve their community in the most extreme way. We try to do shidduchim. We try to put like very religious groups together, but sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes the hours don't work, and sometimes we have to accommodate everyone. Right. And at the end of the day, we're a business. We need to get as many people in as at the time that we're operational. So we try. We have a lot of issues like with people that not a lot. I wouldn't say a lot, but we have a lot of people complaining about the hours of men, the hours of women, who are mixed.
And it's every day that you have separate hours and also like single gender hours,
except Fridays. Fridays usually we don't have separate hours because the Haredim and the religious people are less traveling, and also we're closed on Shabbat, so we give Friday mixed hours the entire time, The rest of the time, we're...
Have there ever been interesting interactions between two groups? Let's say that they weren't together, but maybe they came one right after the other. And so what happens when the groups interact? Like when someone's taking their life jackets off and the other ones need to put them on.
So we're very cautious about it. That's what we sell. That's we, like, you know, for religious people, we make sure that, you know, they're coming in an environment that's very safe for them. And that's what they like when they come to us, because, you know, when they go... when they compare ourselves to other attractions like kayaks, or, you know, they cannot control what's around. You know, you can be on a kayak, but the people on the sides could be not, it's new. So we're very, very cautious. Like, that's what we are very careful, and we have different entrances. So it's a crazy way to operate, because we have groups coming from one side, groups coming out from the other side. We always need to think where we're going to put this group, where we're going to put that group. And, like, you know, sometimes we switch around the park.
You get a lot of people from Tiberia and around there?
No, not so many. Like,
it's like when I lived in New York, I didn't go to the Statue of Liberty, like the same thing.
Exactly, same thing. People come from all over.
That's very disrespectful that you didn't do that. I wanted to say that to you, because I know that about you. And it's Lady Liberty at the heart. It's a Teaneck, historic Teaneck you grew up in. Exactly. It's right there. I think it's the least you can do.
You're right. I feel bad about that. And I imagine people... How do you call people from Tveria? What do they call themselves?
Tverianim.
Tverianim probably feel guilty inside.
In English, it's Tiberias, and it's derogatory.
I think that's right. You shouldn't say that again.
It's actually funny. Someone came this week because we have a different price for people from Tveria. And
more, right?
No, it's cheaper, even though they cause more troubles. And they told me, I want the price, the lower price, because I need Tveriati. Okay, like, and I said, well, if you're Tveriati, means you're not Tveriati. Like, you know, she can't even say where you're from.
That's great. And there's that what's that famous movie where they?
But maybe they're a new oleh and they should come in for free.
Yeah,
they don't know how to say it yet.
What's that crazy movie? I forget which one it was. Where the guy mispronounced Houston Street, and he said Euston Street, and they knew the guy was not from New York.
I don't know. But
we'll look that up. Don't worry about it.
Now I know that it's Houston Street. Thank you for that.
I messed up the ending of the movie for you. Okay, so you get, like, primarily you're getting who?
We get everything. We get groups from abroad.
What city's the worst in Israel? They're the least the
worst behaved.
They destroy
let's get to
stuff.
the meat of it.
They steal the life jackets. Who?
I think the people we have the most problems with are the people from Tveria. They're the ones that feel at home.
They're also the least likely to listen to the podcast, so you're safe.
You're fine.
We don't have any.
You're fine. You're not going to lose your permits tomorrow, most likely.
Is that because they think it's their beach, or just that,
exactly. And also they feel like, you know, how can I have not thought about it? You know, it's just inflatable.
Right.
It's like, you know, how can you, you know, like, you know, if we didn't come, they would still doing abuvim, like those
the inflatable, the inner tubes.
Exactly. And they said, like, how come we didn't think about it, and how come you gave it to somebody else? Like, you know, and that's what kills them. That's something that's really bothering them.
Meaning it bothers people from Tveria that you, an outsider, came in and created this successful business.
Right.
And it's not
but
like
you're not really
you're not a local. That's the issue.
Yeah, you're not from there.
Now you are a local. You've been there a long time.
It took a while. Like, I think now we have, like, great relations with our neighbors,
with the indigenous people of Tveria.
But my neighbor, for example, told me once that if I ever think of doing bananot, abuvim, like, how do you call them?
Banana boats, I think.
Sport, banana boating,
behind. It's what you drag on the motorboat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He will come himself, and make sure that there will be no park.
Because it's competition with the other banana boats.
With him, like, and because, like, you know, he sees something different. He sees something with service.
That's a tough thread to make, because it's hard to sound scary. Right, like you could say, if you ever open up a money-changing business near Kent, right, I'll burn it down. That's tough.
That sounds real. You scared me. Yeah.
If you ever do banana boating,
exactly. When you say banana boating, you lose it.
Yeah, or if you ever inflate an inner tube and put it behind a boat, or do any banana boating.
He probably means it, though.
Oh, it definitely means it, and it definitely would do it.
Yeah,
but you could be cute and, like, paint the banana boat like a watermelon, because the shape is similar.
I think that's Palestinian now.
True, it would be risky.
I don't eat watermelon anymore. This whole summer, I'm dying.
You should,
because it's the colors of
as a Zionist, right?
Right. Yeah.
It's all cantaloupe. Here's a problem I see with your business, though. Meaning, you're surrounded by people who are jealous of you potentially, who feel like they should have done it, who resent you, and all you need is a pin, right?
Sure.
To pop
It's
the,
pretty easy.
or even to, I don't want to give any
just to
ideas.
be funny, yeah.
But you've had.
How do you protect?
Listen, we had at some point we had a competitor who tried to do the same thing. He was completely crazy about doing an inflatable water park. I think there was another guy with that dream. And
Yeah.
Did he also have a mountain in Spain?
No, actually, no. He didn't. He had something in Korea. I don't know what he was doing. And he came. There was a tender, and he came to the tender, and there was a bid. Like it was me against him.
After you already had it?
Yeah, there was another part of the beach that we needed in order to get going, and he came to the bid in order just to make sure that we would go down and this,
Bastard,
well, whatever, and he came with a lot of funds, and he was and I couldn't understand what he wanted from me, like he
Well,
wanted
he
to
was speaking Korean.
Was he also an oleh, or is a local?
No, a local guy from Netanya. And for a long time, so he lost the bid, and we continued, but he was bothering me, and he was writing letters and saying that what we were doing was illegal, and I was very worried that that's what he would do, that he would bring someone
court case to sabotage it.
Sabotage, yeah. And one night while I was staying there at night, we heard like huge noises on the park, like people that huge, like bouncing, and it was not people playing on the park. It was just like huge noise, and I said, "Oh, they're here." So I called the police. I called this, and at the end, it was not him. It was fishermen. What were the fishermen doing? They were putting nets under the water park.
Smart.
Okay,
and catching the
and
fish.
catching the fish, which is also illegal. Like you can't do that.
You can't do that because you can't use those nets, or
exactly. You can't use those nets. Those nets are, and you can use the water park without paying.
Okay, that's a separate issue. I'm just wondering what's legal about it. I don't know much about fishing, so. People from Tveria are the worst. It's good to know, meaning if I need to remarry, it should not be a girl from Tveria.
They're all divorced. You could remarry actually a girl from Tveria.
I know, but you're saying they're terrible people.
No, I didn't say that.
I know, you didn't say that. I said that. Okay. Okay, and then you've got tourists coming from all over, I imagine. It's like a stop now? Like I go to the Kotel, I go to Aqua Kef?
We hope so. Like it looks like it's on the map. Like all the tourist group, the NCSY, the Nakiva, the...
So which country is the most polite, would you say? Like the people
Canadians.
Canadians, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, even I know the answer to that.
Yeah. My team loves Canadians.
Really?
I also love Canadians. I'm married to Yael. Like she's Canadian.
She's
Right.
Canadian. Okay,
Yeah.
you had to say that. Okay, what about Americans?
They're also very polite. Very good.
French,
they're cute.
They're what?
they're what?
At the park, they're cute.
Cute?
What is
Cute.
They behave.
They behave. They're it's usually like cute groups.
Okay. You didn't say good though. You said cute.
Cute because they're
Who-
fun to have. Like if I tell my team today we have a group from France, they're happy. They're
Okay.
like cute girls, happy people, nice smiles.
Uh-huh.
Are your employees are local?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and which ones get worse? If I had to guess, let me guess. The like from a foreign country, the least well, I would have guessed Americans.
I would have
No,
said,
Americans are good.
overall. Somalians. Because the pirates. Can you imagine what they would do to those inflatables?
Houthim, Yemen.
I'm not going to guess. Tell us from the empirical evidence.
I think the tough ones are from South America.
South America.
Yeah, like I would say,
Like the
they're tough.
cartels.
They're cute also. They're fine, but I think they have a tough mentality. They're hard to be, but we're happy to have them.
Which group floats the best?
Floats the best. I think the Haredim float the best. Some take 2 life jackets because they're afraid. So
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's also
That will help.
Some are afraid. They don't know how to swim, so they're careful.
What months are you open?
So we're open from mid-March usually till the end of October.
Mid-March, October.
It's a long season.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty long.
it's a long season.
And the rest of the year, like you're taking a nap? Like what do you do?
Like a bear. Well,
Benji's liking this job. Are you open for Purim? Are you into
What's going on
Purim?
in the lot right next to you?
no, in the winter I take care of my mountain. I try to make it happen. And,
Are you famous in Tiberia? must be.
I would think so. Like in Tveria, I don't go unnoticed, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't necessarily look at me as like someone they look up to. It's like they call me Tzarfati.
Do you have a motorboat that you motor around? Like when you go to the area, you take a motorboat?
Yeah. Well No, we have a motorboat so that we can do some
So you
work
can be
with.
cool.
No, we're not cool.
So you can almost make the banana boat guy angry.
I actually bought my boat from him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, once in a while, I have to calm them down. Like once they see too many people, we have to buy a little bit from him and a little bit from there and help them
It probably
out.
helps their business. Some people are like, "Hey, we finished this. Let's go do the banana boat."
Of course, like I think at the end of the day, Tiberias is a very rundown city.
Yeah.
There's a lot of potential, but I think if they had 10 Aqua Kef, like 10 different activities, so that would boost the city. And that's what I tell them all the time. You need, more people like us who do what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been there. I remember when my kids were little, we went to the Kinneret once for Chol Hamoed, and we could not figure out what to do. Like, we had no idea. And then my wife said, "Oh, look," she was looking at her phone, "someone's doing an orange juice making activity for kids. Let's go there." I'm like, they're just squeezing orange juice. And that's what they did. But that got us through the day. So now there's this.
I think they're still there. The oranges people, and there's a good chance. They need more activities. They need more fun things to do. But there's no one really leading in that direction. I'll give you an example. Right now, the town hall is buying a new mitkan, like a new tower. Those climbing towers that they have in Israel?
Yep.
And they were spending 13 million shekel to bring this tower into Tveria. And I told them, listen, there are 3 like this in Israel.
But not a penny more.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
13
money. So I asked them, like, why are you bringing this? There's already 3 in the country. They're not doing well. And who's going to run this? Like, you guys have no idea about running an operation. Why are you spending 13 million shekel into this? So the answer that they gave me at the town hall, they said, because there's nothing to do. So anything that we bring is going to work. And I said, do you realize that it's 45 degrees out there, like Celsius?
Right.
And people in the summer are not going to go up your mountain and climb it. It's not going to work. So they say, they'll come at night. And I tell them, listen, at night there are no groups. Groups are during the day.
That reminds me of a joke, if I may.
Of course.
About it's a convention, about renewing space exploration, and the countries are competing with each other. And the Polish delegation says they make a very exciting announcement. They say they have an exciting announcement to make, and everyone's there, and they say, "We are going to on a space mission to the sun." And people are gasp, and someone raises his hand and says, as soon as you get anywhere close to the sun, your spaceship is going to burn up. And they said, "We will go at night."
Good, yeah.
And that's very similar. That's very similar,
So are they going ahead with it?
Yeah, and if I ask for a little construction on the beach, I have to go through hell in order to get it.
Right, you have to get on your motorboat. You have to bring the banana boat threatening
no,
guy.
not only that.
I
need permits. I need to go to different. I need to beg them. They're gonna build the tower without any permits. Okay, from one day to the next, spend 13 million shekel for something that's not gonna work.
Does it anger you even more because of your mountain experience?
No, it's not related. It's just no, because I see that there is potential. Okay, there is potential. There's
They had
so
that
much to do.
fountain. They had that water show at night. Remember? They still have that? No.
No, so you know what happened to that
It
mountain?
just wasn't maintained. Dude.
No, they didn't take in consideration that the Kinneret goes up and down.
Right.
Okay, so the Kinneret went down 1 year. Okay.
So they built it, and now it's
then
underwater?
And then it's up, and then and then it didn't work because it needs to be in the water. Okay, but they know that the Kinneret is going up and down. It's been going up and down for thousands of years.
Yes.
Okay, so now it's just pil lavan, like it's they call it
A white elf, I think you say a white elf?
White elephant, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what it is. And now it's dangerous. People climb on it, jump on it. They keep on saying they're going to renew it. It was a nice attraction, but it just doesn't work.
It was nice. It was like fireworks.
Fireworks in the water.
You've also had interactions and experiences with Israelis way beyond what we've had, right? So give us a little bit of a taste of your appreciation for Israelis, or
lack thereof.
Yeah.
Listen, Israelis are.
Be careful. I have Israeli kids. I mean, we all have Israeli
We all
kids.
do. No, Israelis are. At the end of the day, you can fight and you can argue and you can be disappointed as much as you want, but you realize that
You can stab their banana boat and they can stab your pier.
I think at the end of the day, like it's just awful what's going on in the country with all this hate between each other, and that we cannot go over our feelings left, right, Haredi, army. Like, it seems like we can't get along. But I do see a lot of moments that things can go well. You know, I experience it in a every day, every second, in every way. I experience it with my workers. I experience this with the people that come to us. I experience this at the end of the day. You know, there's something here, and especially when you see what's going on in the States with the elections, okay, which is a nightmare, and when you see what's happening now in Europe, with like the way they're not colliding, they're going in two different directions between the left and the right. At the end of the day, nothing compares to be able to succeed and do something here with Israelis in Israel. You know, like if you offer me to open Aqua Kef in France or in Canada or in any other place and succeed in 10 times more than what we do today, okay, I will never ever do it.
What if I offer you unlimited baguettes in Canada Dry?
No, like it won't work.
And a mountain with permits?
No. Nothing. I think at the end of the day, that makes us come back to doing something with a meaning. Okay, like, you know, what I was doing before in my life, which was meaningless. Okay, and today, you know, today, you know, every day now in the summer we have like a few thousand people that come to the park, and at the end of the day, you want everybody to be happy, because if someone comes to the park and comes out and comes back crying or didn't have a good time, so you failed. Okay, and our goal is to make everybody happy.
And the meaning you're finding is that meaning you're making people happy.
Exactly, and I think at the end of the day, you know,
and all different kinds of people.
Anyone, like, you know, at the first year, people were coming out of the park crying, and I used to tell them, "Why are you crying?" I said, "The lifeguard fought with me." I said, "What do you tell?" He said, "If you don't come out right now, I'll break your ribs." Okay, and I said, "Oh, that's awful." You know, that's and I explained to the lifeguards that people need to be happy. I took some of the lifeguards to Orlando,
and
okay,
you told
to show them.
I told you no bruising, no visible bruising.
Open hand hit.
You took your lifeguards to Orlando to Disney World?
Every year we take a different worker. Okay, I have my main worker that I take every year, who's been with me from the beginning, Nevo, who's like a little son or brother, I don't know. And every year we try to take a different employee with us to show him what is service, what is, like, you know, what's a clean place, what's the people coming out, like, you know, when you go on a ride, and at Orlando you have like that stuff that claps, you know, no matter what, and make sure that you're happy even if you're not, if you're scared. And I think at the end of the day, people do not know what service is. They don't know, because there's nothing equivalent here. There's nothing that I cannot take them anywhere. You know, I'll take them to kayaks. They'll see people fighting with the rows, like
rocks at each other.
Exactly.
So do you see the positive impact of taking them to Orlando?
I think at the end of the day, like our park, Baruch Hashem, is a quality place with quality people, and I think it's because we tell them all the time, like, you know, at the end of the day, we try to tell them, to educate them what it is to be like a good person and to be good to your guests, and which is hard, but because our employees are from Tiberias, and they some of them have never been out of the country. I'll tell you a funny story that happened like really 2 weeks ago. Someone wrote on the WhatsApp of Aqua Kef. We don't answer phone calls, we just answer by WhatsApp. Okay. And I'm the one answering all the WhatsApp because it's just easier to control everything that's going on in the park. And someone wrote, you guys, I see that you guys are not open on Shabbat, and I would like to come with a group on Shabbat. So I told him, for all the money in the world, we're not going to open on Shabbat. So he said, what if I offer you 300 shekel per person? I'll get to offer on Shabbat. So I sent him a link of, I don't know if you know that story, but that guy who... Bill Gates, Bill Gates wanted to do some kind of talk on Shabbat. He wanted to bring a guy, and the speaker didn't want to come on Shabbat, and Bill Gates offered a crazy amount of money, and the guy refused, and Bill Gates said, I can buy anything in the world, but I cannot buy a Shabbat from a Jew. Okay, that's something that I cannot buy. So I sent him the link. So then he sent another proposal. He said, What about for 600 shekel per person?
I'm not sure he understood the
Did you have
TED
another
talk.
story, maybe with another like tech entrepreneur?
The
Or-
Sultan of Brunei tried to.
So I told him not even for a million shekel.
Mm.
So and then so the guy understood. He gave up, and I sent the copy of the screen to some Haredi people that I work with, and they don't have internet, but they
Managed
they managed to send everybody new, and within like a few moments, like the thing was viral, and they all came to me, and how amazing, and how like, which for us is a no-brainer. Shabbat is Shabbat. We don't
Right.
work on Shabbat.
Right.
So that's a funny story. But the other part is that some guy ordered a group for next Friday, and I didn't realize. He said, "I'm coming with 500 people along the day," and he sent me the advertising that he sent. Okay, and it was for gay people. Okay, for gay community.
Shouldn't they go to Chof Gay, which is just down there?
Tough guy.
Oh, Chof Guy. I misread that.
Mispronounced that. Yeah.
So I didn't pay attention to the page that he sent me, and all of a sudden his advertisement went also all over, and I got a phone call from the same person that publicized me that I sent it to, and said, "How can you, that is so Shomer Shabbat and Shomer on our values, agree to have a group coming to us to you and on Aqua Kef with gay people," and and it went viral also because I got like, a lot of phone calls, and I said, like, "How can you that protect?" Like, and I said, one has nothing to do with the other. Like, I have separate hours, I have mixed hours, and I cannot deal. Okay, who's gonna be like? Soon I'm gonna say no Arabs, no Jews, no Haredi, no this. Like,
No,
if you
everyone
want
can
to,
come.
everybody can come.
So
and
you get Arab groups?
we do get Arab groups,
Yeah.
not too many. Okay, and we try to bring them in different.
If I could give you some
yeah.
business advice, maybe have the gay group on Shabbos get the million shekel, and the Choredim won't know about it because it's on Shabbat.
Anyway,
All right, Ami.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Ami.
Thank you.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci à vous,
I don't know
and
what
good
to
luck
say.
on your podcast. Like, you guys are
Thank you.
amazing.
We don't
Okay.
need luck. There's nothing lucky about this.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
No, this is podcasting skill honed over generations.